Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So May is over and the good news is the numbers definitely picked up in May. We anticipated it and it showed up. So that is exciting news. I mean, our numbers are still down and the final numbers haven't rolled in. But I'll give you a quick May update and then we'll get into what happened last week. So this was a quick pull again. Final May numbers are not in. In May of 2019, we sold 95 units. And in May of 2020, we sold 65 units. If you remember from April, we only sold 35 units in April. So that was like horrendous. But 65 is a good number. We are down still 30+%, but it's trending in the right direction and we're closing the gap on how much we are actually down. So some really promising news. I mean, in April, we saw our average price point really dip because we saw very little movement in our higher price points. But this year, and again, final stats are not in, but just looking at what was already updated in the system, our average price is up 12%. So our average sale price was $907,000 in May of 2020, which is up from the $810,000 in May of 2019. I've been telling people, like, you are not going to get a steal on a house right now. We are not seeing prices dip, and this just reinforces that. So let's look at what happened last week. So again, some good numbers. We had 13 sales in Georgetown, so it's now becoming a regular thing to see double-digit sales, which feels great. We had 3 of those 13 sell over asking, so we are starting definitely to see the bidding wars coming back. So in terms of new listings this week, in Georgetown, we had 17 new listings. 7 of them were relisted, so only 10 new properties entering the market, which means our sales outpaced our new listings, which is awesome news. In Acton this week, we had 2 properties sell. Unfortunately, 7 new properties were listed. 2 of them were relists. So for a couple consecutive weeks now, we are seeing Acton's new listings outpace their sales. In Glen Williams this week, we had no sales, but we did have 3 properties listed. 2 of them were new entries to the market. So we're starting to see inventory climb a little bit in the Glen. We do have quite a few properties for sale under 1.4, which feels kind of rare for this area, but things just aren't moving as rapidly as they normally are, so it's to be expected. In Limehouse this week, we had no sales and we did have 1 new property list there. So in Rural, we had 2 sales, which is good. This is a few weeks now that we've seen some sales in the Rural area. We had 2 new listings and 1 of them was a relist. So just 1 new rural property entering the market this week. So in terms of active inventory, we are down slightly in Georgetown, which is great news. We have 64 active listings. And we talked last week about that 700 to 800 price point that usually has no inventory and the inventory is sitting quite high. So we are up this week to 16 listings in that small price point. So this is where if you have an opening price point townhome or you want to get rid of condo fees, now's a really good time to be thinking about moving up. So our inventory over $1 million in Georgetown is still sitting pretty high. We have 26 active listings in that price point. You can see from our sales and from the numbers that I quickly took from May with our average price point, this is a price point that is starting to move again. So that is good news for the sellers that might have been sitting on the market for a bit. So in Acton and Glen Williams and Limehouse, our inventories are all up this week. We have 19 active listings in Acton and it is a huge span of price points. So there's really something for everyone in Acton right now. So in Glen Williams, we have 12 active listings, which is higher than we're used to seeing here. And in Limehouse, there are now 2 active listings. Rural is down slightly this week, which is good news for that area. It is down to 23 active listings. So 21 of the 23 are over $1 million. So that is why we just don't see rural moving as much because they are in that higher price point. So overall this week, I think a pretty solid update. I mean, our main numbers are down, but are up from April and definitely are showing promise for where the market is going. So let's just hope that June continues to to trend the way that May did. I still don't think we're gonna resume to normal levels, but I do think people's confidence is up and we are definitely seeing positive movement in the right direction. So that's it for this week. I will be back next Tuesday to review what happened for the first week of June. Have a great week, everyone.